Hi everybody and welcome back to the Discerning Otaku. This is going to be video one of two I'm actually going to drop this weekend because this one's going to be relatively short. This is just going to be another little discussion video similar to the one I did last week, but it's going to be a little bit lighter on the topic. This one's going to be hobby time management and actually a question that I'm giving to all of you. How do you manage all of your hobbies? I know with the anime seasonal watchers are getting brutally punished with all the fantastic shows that are coming out each season and each week. That doesn't even begin to cover all of the manga. And that's just two of my hobbies. And those are the ones that I tend to put the most time into each week, but I'm curious as to how you break yours down. So as far for me, my main hobbies are making music, which I'm not particularly very good at, but it's a hobby. I don't do it professionally. It's just something that I like to do when I have time. I also play video games, as I'm sure a lot of you also do. I read manga, I watch anime, and recently I've started laying the groundwork for a visual novel that I will be scoring, writing, producing, basically doing everything for, that I have not gotten the willpower to actually get much done outside of storyboarding so far. Storyboarding has gone decently well. I have my endings figured out and some other plot points and such, but I have not put anything into stone as of yet. But I'm curious as to how the breakdown for all of you go. So basically, I work between 40 and 50 hours a week. Not terrible. But by the time I get home from work, I'm only conscious for about 3 to 3.5 hours before I have to go to sleep to get up the next day. So I generally tend to push all of my anime watching off until Friday, Saturday, Sunday, where I binge most of my shows. Now, luckily, I have the luxury of being able to do that. I'm pretty OCD when it comes to time management, so I can kind of finagle that. Now, I will read manga and play video games throughout the week to try and keep up on my backlogs of each, although it does become difficult because I also have a lot of lengthy visual novels that I've not quite gotten to yet. And with Steam constantly having killer sales, my backlog grows and grows. Now also bring into manga, I think I've probably got about 2,000 volumes in my backlog. I've taken out about 1,000 volumes within the past year and a half, so I'm not doing too bad. But it is also something that does seem to take a lengthy amount of time. And by the end of the week, I'm just really tired. Music, I don't tend to work on as much as I want to, although since I'm going to be scoring my own visual novel, it is something I will definitely need to put a little bit more practice into before I do that. Now, likely because I have no experience in visual novel production or scoring things, I'm probably going to be making a visual novel on the shorter side, and it is going to be pretty heavy as far as content goes. It's going to be something that deals with depression and certain other things that I deal with on a daily basis. So it's going to be, somewhat semi-biographical. So it's something that I need to take my time with making so I don't push myself too hard on it. But with all of these things laying out, I do find that all of my time is very much taken up constantly. Now, don't get me wrong, I am one of those lucky people in the world that gets to engage in my hobbies on a regular basis, and for that I am truly grateful. Now, I do wish there were 25 hours in a day so I could put a little bit more time into them, but that's neither here nor there, and as I want to keep this discussion fairly short and fairly light, I just wanted to propose to you guys, how do you break up your time if you have multiple hobbies like this? Whether it be art, music, anime, manga, regular TV shows, outside activities, sports, what have you, how do you manage to give each of the things you love doing its due diligence and its time warranted, I guess you could say? It's something that I've been thinking about a lot lately as I try and crank through a lot of these shows. I'm still watching 30 some shows this season, and it is really taking a lot of time out of my week while trying to stay caught up on everything. And that's not even with all of the manga I'm currently reading. Thankfully, I'm not a chapter reader. I wait until the volume is released and then I read them that way, so I can kind of make up a little bit of time there. And as far as video games go, unfortunately, I'm not a huge AAA video game player, and a lot of the indie titles that have come out recently are more or less endless games, so I never get to finish them because you really can't. But I think going into this next year, I'm going to try and crank through a lot of my visual novel backlog, as those all have definitive endings. And I would like to put a little bit more into making it through some of those. So without further ado, I'm going to end the video here. If you haven't and you would like to, go ahead and like and subscribe. It helps me out a lot. And leave a comment down below on your thoughts on this topic. And I'd really be very interested to hear how everyone breaks up their time. And with that, I'm going to sign off, start working on the second video, which should hopefully drop either today or tomorrow. And once again, will be about anime. Instead of me doing all these heavy discussion topics, I'm just going to get back to the things that we know and love. Without further ado, watch more anime, read more manga. You guys have a good one.